Welcome back, everyone. Next, we have Renforth Resources, Inc. It trades on the OTCQB under the symbol RFHRF and on the CSE under RFR. It's a secure multi-commodity area play with the dominant brownfield land position south of the world-class Cadillac-Larder Lake Fault in the prolific Cadillac and Malartic mining camps of Quebec's and Abitibi, offering exposure to gold, zinc, nickel, copper, cobalt, and more, including lithium. Renforth's land position encompasses several areas of interest. Happy to welcome back President and CEO Nicole Brewster. Nice to see you, Nicole.
Hey, thanks so much. So thanks for joining me, everyone. We're going to go through a quick update, I suppose. This is pre-recorded with my apologies. I've engineered a conflict with a new investment banker during the time you're watching this, where I'm going to be meeting with him. So we're doing it this way. You can always email me questions, Nicole@renforthresources.com. And, watch the social media. For example, if you're new to Renforth, there's a much more comprehensive webinar I did about a week and a half ago or so. It's on Renforth Resources Facebook page. There's a link. I'll be sure to put that link on LinkedIn and X and a few other places, but you can always go there. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to run through an update on what we're doing right now. I'm recording this Monday morning, so a couple of things will change by the time you watch this, but nothing that big. So right now we're going to talk about Surimo, essentially. That's our stripping. That's back at the beginning when we thought we knew exactly where the mineralization was. And subsequent to this, we discovered additional horizons of mineralization and have proven that our stripping did not get the whole system. But that's a good problem to have. So you're duly cautioned. I'm the president and the CEO of Renforth Resources. I may make forward-looking statements. I'm not a financial advisor. You should always do your own due diligence. And that includes asking questions, like you can email me your questions. So dive right into it. We're going to talk about our properties in Quebec. We actually have several other projects in Renforth that are less advanced, and we won't go into those here because we don't have that kind of time. However, we did complete earlier this fall some prospecting on a property called McCart in Ontario, which is a nickel prospect. And we've actually just received those results. So those will be coming out in a form of a press release shortly. Now, other than that, there will also be a press release out with an update on our drill program. We're getting close to the end. We're drilling on Victoria, which is what we're going to talk about today. That's the lower of the red boxes on the Victoria structure, which is 20 kilometers long across the center of our approximately 330 square kilometer Surimo property. So we're drilling there. As of this morning, we're just over 3,000 meters drilled. By the time you watch this, we'll be close to the end of the program. I assume we have about a week's worth of drilling to go. We're also going to talk about the work we did at Beaupré in the same program to the north. That's the higher of the red boxes. Beaupré is a copper discovery we made, completely virgin, very close to the Cadillac break. So it's super exciting and super scary at the same time because it's pure exploration. Now, you can see there our Parbec gold deposit sitting on the Cadillac break. It's just to the east or to the right of where I just had you look at that Beaupré red box. So Parbec, we're not going to, there's no results. We're modeling it internally right now, but stay tuned. We're going to continue to develop Parbec in-house is the decision we've come to. Simply because we're in a rising gold price market and mineralization starts at surface, especially in the northwest part of the Parbec property. So stay tuned. That'll be exciting. However, back to what we're going to talk about today. So first up in the slides, we're going to see Beaupré. So Beaupré, this is an excerpt of a press release, which is available on our website, renforthresources.com. It's from October of this year when we were announcing that we were going to do copper exploration at Beaupré and that we finished the exploration at McCart, which I just mentioned to you. So Beaupré, to refresh everyone's memory, is in the center of a logged area where we traced mineralization for 165 meters on surface. This is copper in the form of chalcopyrite and bornite, two forms of copper. The initial discovery of this property was by the Quebec government, SOCHEM, when they had the property under option from Renforth, which we subsequently got back. And like all of Surimo, we own the property 100% outright. There's no encumbrances on the Beaupré area of the property. But SOCHEM grabbed 8% copper on surface. Our guys went back and they grabbed 3.5% copper and some other values, and they did additional prospecting to outline 165 meters of strike, along with a small crosscut. So what we did was, this is the road into Beaupré. This is what the terrain looks like, very flat. We stripped it. We stripped a long strike for approximately 200 meters, so we went a bit further than our own prospecting. And we have mineralization on surface. The greenish gold is chalcopyrite, and that's just a surface little expression in a quartz vein or in a shear. We can continue the mineralization. We can see it on surface. However, as you saw in the press release, we started this at the end of October. Typically, we would get a good month's work out of the site, but instead we got winter early. Winter came and winter stayed. Things froze up. It got real mucky. That's why we had a fat truck. That's called a fat truck. We had a fat truck on site. But we did manage to take a couple of grab samples. You can see there's mineralization in that grab sample. And I don't know if you heard my phone ring. Apologies if you did. We'll submit a couple grab samples because the guys were working under snow. We literally only have a few. However, it's new data. And what's exciting is we'll leave Mother Nature to do her thing on the stripped ground, and we will revisit it in the spring. So let me really quickly shuffle back and refresh your memory what we're going to talk about now. This is the area on Victoria we were drilling, and what's barely visible in this slide is there's a road that goes down to the hydroelectric generating station to the south of us. So this Victoria mineralization, it's large scale. It's 20 kilometers long in the Victoria structure, plus additional mineralization at Lalonde, where we ground truth 9 kilometers, north of Lalonde, where we found a new system, and south of Victoria. So there's a lot happening on this property. In addition to the Beaupré copper discovery, there's also large-scale low-grade gold mineralization that we haven't even really looked at yet. So you can just see in the edge of this picture the road to Rapid 7. So that's the road to the hydroelectric generating station. And you'll see in the next image, the power line to the hydroelectric generating station is running right beside the road. In any case, where we decided to start work was where we've done the most work. Now, maybe we're not in the right spot. We are doing exploration, but we're not looking for the system. We know the system's there. It consistently shows up where it should in drill core. We are instead trying to determine what the system contains. Now, we have done, this is the stripped area in gray that you saw on the cover. So that's the entirety of what we're working on. This image is zoomed in, and the road is actually just off to the right, to the east. What you see here is the power line, this clear cut of where there's no trees. That's the power line corridor. So what we've done is we've permitted a bunch of holes, and the red ones, the red dots on this image, are what we will drill prior to Christmas. The pink dots are also permitted, but we'll come back to those in the new year. Now, in there's the occasional blue dot and other drill holes we drilled. Not every drill hole we've drilled is there, though. The map would be too cluttered. So we started in the east, and we've drilled all the way over to number 3 in the clearing in quite a span of no drilling. Actually, we're filling in that gap with 2 drill holes. Now, our intent is to drill sufficiently a sufficient footprint, tight enough footprint, approximately 100-meter spacing of drill holes, in order to at least calculate an in resource, or give ourselves what it could look like in terms of the geometry and the grade assumptions. So as of Monday morning, like I said, we're drilling hole number 3. I can't recall on this platform if you see my cursor or not, but you can find hole number 3 is in a big gap, and it's fairly deep. And, we continue to see the mineralized system where we expect to see it. We will have 3 more holes to drill after this. So like I said, I figure we have about a week's worth of drilling. But it's exciting. The big takeaway, which I've already press released at this point, is that the system is consistently where we expect it to be, which is important. What's also becoming interesting is the mineralization is becoming very fine-grained, which caused us to actually, while we were drilling over here in the center under the stripped area that you saw on the cover, it caused the guys to stop a hole inadvertently early in mineralization Saturday at about 3 in the morning. It's Murphy's Law, all our holes stop in the middle of the night, but they're using photographs because it's winter in Quebec. It's not safe to put the guys on the road in the dead of night. So the photograph did not really, with wet core, taken in a drill shack with a camera phone, they couldn't tell that there was fine-grained mineralization, so they stopped the hole, but we subsequently went back into that hole and we deepened it. So we finished it, but it was kind of a new complexion at Surimo to have the mineralization be quite fine-grained. So like I said, we're continuing, we're doing hole 3 right now. I expect that'll stop today. By the time you see this, we'll have at least 1, if not 2 more holes under our belt. And what I want to do is actually show you what does the mineralization look like. Because bear in mind, this is continuous. We're drilling off 2.2 kilometers. Mineralization plunges to the north, and the angle is approximately 50 degrees, and it's consistently doing that. So we're looking at a future open pit scenario where we're taking the mineralization, which, while we have to send it for assay, it's looking more interesting, this program, than it has before, which is logical because we're getting deeper. Assays will be released when they're available, but realistically, that'll be in the new year. But what we're looking at is a future open pit scenario. We are an analog to the Talvivaara bio heap leach, which is the only one in the world for nickel in Finland. However, we're also seeing more zinc mineralization, so that's slightly different than what's happening in Finland. And as a meeting that I had in London last week, the question was, do I have to do a bioheap leach? And the answer is, well, no, of course we don't. And we will be working to do metallurgical work this coming year to start to see what our processing options might look like in the future. That's a future-looking statement right there. I'm going to flag it for you. We don't have a resource in place yet, and we don't have any economic studies in place, but we do have a large mineralized system, which is consistently mineralized and consistently present. So I'm being very looking to the future, anticipating success, but it is anticipation. This is our drill. It's winter. Now here you're seeing mineralization in drill core. So I'm just going to flip through a few of these just to see so you can see what it looks like. There is fine-grained stuff in here, but like I said, it's very hard to tell from the pictures, because you can also see there's very gross or chunky stuff happening. Now, the most recent mineralization, we're going to work backwards because I need to see how many slides I have here. Yeah, so this is the most recent mineralization. This is in the current hole. And okay, I got to say okay, and I got to go backwards. These 3 slides are the current hole. And it's hard to tell, but things are getting much finer grained. And it's fascinating, like the mineralization is there. And I want to comment on one other slide. We talk about the graphitic mudstone, which is the northern and the southern marker of the mineralized package, which can be on surface more than 100 meters in width, and the length that we're working on is 2.2 kilometers. But the graphitic mudstone itself is mineralized. It's not always as exciting looking as this, but this is graphitic mudstone, and you can see it's at 100 meters depth. And once again, my phone, apologies if you heard that. It's at just over 100 meters depth where it was intersected. So, no, that's 180. Sorry, I can't read. So we're getting quite deep. That's 180 meters down the hole. That's not quite that deep in terms of vertical, but it is exciting that we're seeing it looking like that. And we're seeing this stuff at the end looking very fine-grained. So this is really all I wanted to share with you. Lots of news to come. We've got McCart results coming out. We've got a drill update coming out. Program will be finishing. Every hole is hitting. Lots of sampling underway. Samples are being delivered to the lab. However, the labs will shut down for Christmas. The anticipation of results in the new year. Probably we'll start to see the initial ones at the end of January. An update on Parbec, what we're doing there, and then our plans for next year. Hopefully, we're going to apply for some funding from the Quebec government for metallurgical work. If we're successful in that, we'll announce that in the new year. And that's about it. So like I said, I guess I'll be back in January and do a more fulsome live situation where you can ask me questions. However, a few of you already reach out to me via email, and you can all feel free to do so. It's Nicole at renforthresources.com. And you should always, you should go to the website, renforthresources.com, slide down to where you see the sign up button for the newsletter, and sign up, or email me that you want to be on the newsletter, and watch our socials. And that's really all I have to say to you. Drilling's going great. Could not be going better. This is not a race. It's science, and it takes some time, but definitely keep an eye on us, because I think we're onto something super exciting, and I think we're building something that'll be quite meaningful in the future. So, forward-looking statement from the not impartial CEO, but there you go. There you have it. Happy holidays, everyone. And, all the best. And let's look forward to seeing you in January. So, Anna, that's it. I'm done.
Great job, Nicole. Thank you for this update. And yes, we look forward to hearing from you more in the new year. And Happy New Year to you as well.
Thank you. You too. All the best. And email me with any questions.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, Nicole. And thanks everyone for watching. We'll be right back with our next presenter.